So yeah, guys, I was basically asked if I could give a video tutorial on GvE on how to get out some decent numbers. So yeah, let me just take you through my roster. So my guys right now are kind of equipped for my my PvP team. So I just got to equip them right now, but let me explain what I'm trying to do. So Roach King is going to be your biggest damage dealer. And for Roach King, in order to get out those really big numbers, you got to give him Combat Zone Gladiator. The biggest thing with the CZG set is that before the level cap was raised to the current level cap, I was using an old Zimmer kit, and my Zimmer kit at the time only had damage and hit points on it with a little bit of crit, just enough to get me up to 14k crit on Zimmer. So I was using that for a while, and I noticed that my numbers were nowhere near what some of the other players were, even though our sets were exactly the same. And so I decided to build up a completely brand new set. And so with my new GvE dedicated set, for both substats and remake, I have damage and crit on all 4 pieces. And so this enables my crit rating to get pretty close to 10k. You'll see later on, but the huge percentage of damage is coming from Roach King, and so it's really important that you definitely crit out this set, or else you're just not going to get nowhere near the maximum potential for your numbers. The next player is Preston for damage contribution for your GvE team. So I don't really use him for PvP anymore. But when I do, he wears Pog. So I'm basically borrowing Doomslayer's set. Where is it now? Here it is. So in the case of Doom, his special does not get impacted by crit. And so, as you see on all 4 pieces of gear, the remake stats are damage and hit points. Obviously, if you wanted to get more damage out of Preston, it would be better to replace the hit points on the remake with crit. But yeah, I didn't want to do that because it doesn't really do anything for Doom. For the substats, crit doesn't exist as a substat for stealth. And so if you wanted to eke out a little bit more damage with Preston, you'd want to replace your hit points for hit rating. So the optimal set is damage, hit rating, substats with damage, crit, remake. But out of the contribution, it's really Roach King, and then a little bit further down, it's Preston. And so it's not super imperative that you have a dedicated GvE set. That's a little too hardcore. Next is Inspector. So for Inspector, I'm pulling off a WA set from Amata. As you can see, my Preston normally, I don't use her for ZA, so she has a kind of ghetto OI set at the moment. But where is it? WA. Here we go. For Inspec. Yeah, basically for her I have damage hit points for both remake as well as substats. Because her overall damage contribution is not so high percentage-wise compared to Roach King, and then far second is Preston, it's not super necessary to get crit for her. So yeah, just borrowing your set from, whether you have it on Amata or Murawski, I'm not sure, but don't worry too much. Next is for Piper. For Piper, I have OI. And as you can see, because damage doesn't exist as a substat for OI gear, she basically has like a random assortment of stats. But for her remake, I'm giving her damage just to prop up her numbers a little bit. But again, percentage-wise, she's not contributing that much damage to your team. And then last but not least is Cleo himself. So for Cleo, I'm actually borrowing. I like Jessica a lot for PvP. So Jessica OI and Zimmer OI. So I'm borrowing Zimmer's set. And the reason that is you'll see the numbers later, but Roach King, Preston, and then it's Cleo next, who is doing the third biggest damage contribution. And so to prop up his numbers as much as possible, like I said before, for remake, sorry, not for remake, for substats, damage doesn't exist, but I made sure that he gets critical on everything. And then for damage and crit, I made sure he had that on his remake. So yeah, the idea with the team is that basically Cleo, mine is 10, but this applies to all guys. Cleo's OI is basically helping to increase the exposed mark. So you want to get that going as soon as possible. And then the reason why you're putting OI on Piper is because you're basically increasing the damage of all team members and their attack speed. And then with Inspector, the reason why you're putting WA on her is because of the set bonus. Basically, it's to speed up the AP generation of your teammates. And so, yeah, that's why I choose her. So I'll move on to the second part of the video.